Argument 8.
Many corporate logos have changed since a long time ago. You think Chrysler was bad? Look at the Warner Brothers logos. But wait, you say, how could they have changed? They were Warner Brothers, for Christ's sakes. Well, take a look at this logo. This was when Seven Arts purchased a part of Warner Brothers back in the late 60s. That was their logo for a short period of time, but then reverted back to their original later. And what about Scream Gems? First you had the Columbia Torch Lady, then this logo that looks like it should have been in the Modern Art Gallery. All logos are guilty of these major changes, Guptil, and all of Chrysler's logos are very well known either way. So if you can't pick out the Chrysler wings or the Chrysler Pentagon, then you're not familiar with Chrysler at all. Simple as that.
True, the Warner Brothers and Screen Gems alterations were pretty stupid, but at least they had the courtesy to place the business name along with the insignia.
Refer to what I said earlier on in part 1.
Also, little do you know, you were actually adding to my argument.
Like hell he was.
Chrysler, because while some can be familiar with the manufacturer, they can still get bewildered, especially if they went to an old-fashioned car show, or if they're on the road and spot a vehicle with any one of these symbols on it, because they can forget what trademarks the corporation had.
Okay, Guptil, let's say this. Let's say you were on the road and you were driving at around about 60 miles an hour on a motorway, and you came across this one car that looked kind of stylish. Let's say a black Ferrari, for example. And you were wondering what kind of company makes those. Well, it doesn't matter either way, because as far as I know, all car companies manufacture the same type of car, whether they do have their own exclusives.
This response also applies to what you mentioned after I said, "What company is that again?" Argument 9.
Have you seen the modifications of the Pepsi logo over the years? The general design remained the same, of course, but the Pepsi font changed, and the overall design of the Pepsi ball slightly changed. And you're okay with that?
Yes, I am, because as long as it says Pepsi on the can, bottle, or other object, nothing is wrong.
But yet it stated you as a hypocrite during your video, and due to that reason, I'm just going to be skipping this next point.
Argument 10.
Oh, for God... speak bloody English, for Christ's sake!
This is his opinion about the remodeling of the Dunkin' Donuts building.
The current design didn't change too much. They just adopted orange, so of course the outside sign must turn orange to keep the building up to date, so that it doesn't get replaced with another store. The roof must match too, so the building doesn't look out of place and outdated with the new sign change, and the interior must match for the same reason. So why are you complaining about progress and maintenance? Do you want your local Dunkin' Donuts to go out of business?
If an establishment only gets redecorated, it shouldn't be considered progress.
Not really, Guptil. It is classified as progress. I mean, let's take a restaurant, for example, an Italian restaurant. You come into the restaurant, and you see that the restaurant has paintings on one side of a wall, and mirrors on the other side. Seems eye-catching enough, but that's just pretty much it. So imagine if they decided to redecorate it to make it seem more Italian. Let's say a stone wall, for example. Or maybe a statue of maybe a monk, because they're common in Rome and Italy in general. So yeah, some courtesies of change are actually good, and it does make progress. It's more catching to the eye as well.
The real definition of progress would be expanding the size of the structure or putting up an entirely different premise altogether.
That's still the same fucking thing! Alright, I know I'm getting all over dramatic with these cursings and all that sort of stuff, but seriously, is there any other way that I can describe these things to Guptil? It's just that he never seems to learn.
Take this, for instance. The old McDonald's properties in New England had an appearance that looked like a 3D interpretation of the original Pizza Hut seal. Now, the buildings are rectangular cubes with bricks and stone. Despite the fact that it slightly looks like a car dealership, it's an appropriate redesign. Also, they added more parking spaces. On the other hand, going from this to this doesn't work.
Actually, it does. The first Dunkin' Donuts picture you've shown was in a filthy environment. I mean, come on guys, would you rather want to go to a restaurant that has a lot of filthy stuff all around it, like a unpresentable forest, pack of trees, and all that sort of jazz? It's unpresentable. But that right there, picture number 2 of it, is a lot more cleaner and a lot more eye-catching. So yeah, It works.
And besides, as long as the sign has the words Dunkin' Donuts on it, individuals are going to order the treats anyway.
Then you're proving yourself as a hypocrite again.
Argument number 11.
Your way of thinking is dangerously counterintuitive to the nature of the invisible hand of the economy. Again, Adam Smith would spit in your face.
Oh, please. If I didn't possess the knowledge exemplified in the presentation, the bad U.S. economy could get worse. A lot of officials are greedy and are spending thousands of dollars to do things that inflame the financial crisis, such as this. In Somersworth, New Hampshire, there used to be a medium group of houses in one particular area. Citizens lived in that area. There was also a furniture store as well. But one day, all those buildings were torn down just to construct a CVS pharmacy. If you thought demolishing the houses was bad enough, across from the pharmacy is another pharmacy owned by Rite Aid.
I would love to put a comment here on how bullshit that statement is, but Wave already summed it up as best as he could, so I think I might leave a link in the description to his one-shot on this video.
Brilliant. Simply brilliant. What they should have done was nothing. But if they kept the plans to put up a CVS pharmacy, all they would need to do is set it inside the place where Rite Aid was if that particular store went out of business, and just keep the homes and furniture store. That would be an example of a healthy economy. I doubt Adam Smith would be mad at me. Argument 12. This comes after the closing statement.
Then it is necessary to change it to make sure that the store is kept up with the times and to catch a person's eye. That's the necessary reason to change it, Guptil. You said so yourself.
Bad news. You misunderstood. Again, refer to what I said about that stuff earlier because I don't want to reiterate it.
And refer to what I said earlier.
Guptil, you need to understand.
Oh god, I'm not liking where this is going.
Understand the basics of our economy. You can't just have everything remain the same all the time.
Oh, grow the fuck up, Guptil.
Otherwise, people will get bored easily and will move on to something else, and put other companies out of business. Sure, there are certain logos that are classic and only went through minor changes, but those were companies that became ridiculously successful and part of our mainstream culture.
Well, guess what? Gatorade, Nike, and Chrysler have been part of the American culture for quite a lot of years, and their symbols didn't have to go through such baffling alterations throughout the course of time.
Nike still has a tick. Also, Gatorade still has that infamous G and lightning bolt. And Chrysler, well, they can do whatever the hell they want because they're a car company. People buy cars to buy a car.
The problem is, most workers aren't that smart. Also, it's actually bad marketing to confuse customers. Well, that's it. 12 arguments, all of which I disagree with. That is a lot. So, young blood, as well as everybody else, I hope you've comprehended this long reply, and will take into account strategies to help build an actual, robust economy. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.
It's nothing but just a simple the end right after that, so I'll skip it. So, what do I think of Guptil's video in general? Oh ho ho, do I think of this video in general? Well, it's simple. Guptil, this is one of your worst videos ever. In fact, it's worse than all your Rant-a-Wreck videos combined it into one. Hell, I might as well just go as far as to say it's worse than your top 10 countdown of hottest Sonic female characters. Right. That's all I have to say for this commentary, guys. Until next time, I am the 88th Reality. I bid you a good night.